Hi there, I'm Beth from Messy Marriage, and I am doing another Sloppy Joe time on something that's related to a series that I'm beginning at Messy Marriage on plank hunting. And if you don't know what I mean by plank hunting, you might want to look at Matthew 7. Jesus talks about how we are not to judge someone else in our life. We feel like we can see that speck so clearly, but all the time we have this big plank that's coming right out of our own eye. And so I want to challenge myself and challenge my readers to really look at those planks in our lives and take responsibility where we have responsibility, because every time I ever try to go on a speck hunt of my husband and point out his sin and flaw, and it is true even to this day, it creates defensiveness. I'm really treading into territory that is not my own. I am overstepping a boundary. He is the one that's responsible for dealing with that speck, and the Lord is the one that should convict and try to direct him in another way. So I need to be busy about looking at my own sin. And I get a lot of times, a lot of pushback from people in general in my life that I deal with, or even on the blog. I feel like it's not always a welcome message because it's uncomfortable, it's painful. We don't want to look at the ugly stuff, the sin, the negative contribution that we bring to a situation, to a marriage that makes it messy. And I feel like it's been something that has really changed the atmosphere and the culture in my marriage. Once I realized that I had the power to change how I felt and what I did and how I lived, how I related to my husband, and I could do it with God's help. I could be kinder and more loving and forgiving. If I could do those things and see the implications of that over time, it really was what changed my marriage from a very messy marriage to one that, well, we have our occasional messes. We are not perfect by any means, but we are relating so much better now. We can talk, we can discuss matters without going into these huge arguments, and that's a success for me, and that's freedom. And I hope that's what you want too. You know, it's so important to remember. Hebrews 12:1 talks about, untangling the sin that hinders us, and that's what I hope that you'll be willing to do with this plank hunt. I hope you'll join me at messymarriage.com. Thanks again for listening to another Sloppy Joe time.